Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Evolution, the board game. You know, last week I took a look at Mystic Vale. This week, you gotta know if there's a digital version of a board game I may or may not have heard of. Of course I'm gonna play it. We're gonna check it out at least. Evolution is a game that actually I played way back in 2017, so not that long ago. But Michael A. L. Fox, friend of the channel, colleague. I was thinking of some other words to put in there, but my mom said if you ain't got anything nice to say, don't say it at all. He brought it to PAX East. We played a little. It already had the expansion stuff baked into whatever version he was doing. It was a little complicated. We might not have been in the best mental state to check it out, but I thought to myself, you know, it's an interesting game. It abstracts the process of a species growing, evolving in response to its environment, adapting, and then, you know, you see how it shakes out after that. So, you know, as I was going to say an armchair biologist, but really, I'm not even a biology hobbyist, but I do have a bachelor's degree in it. It's strange how that works out. There's a little bit, you know, tickles my fancy here, but it's not scientific. You know, the game itself is just, it's an evolution veneer pasted on top of what actually is a really cool multiplayer strategy game that has now come out in the digital form. So I don't know why, it says I played 0 games. I've been playing through the campaign, which we can see right here. But I don't know, we could just play against the AI as well, but maybe we'll do campaign anyway. Survival is even more difficult when the watering hole runs dry. So the campaign are like themed levels with slightly different parameters to what you might otherwise expect in kind of a default, I suppose, game or a vanilla game of evolution. Gadzooks, it's hot. You'll need these new traits to survive this barren landscape. Scavengers feast off the remains that carnivores leave. They receive 1 food after every carnivore attack. Defensive herding uses population as a defense. Carnivores must have more population than this species to attack it. Horns doesn't stop a carnivore from attacking, but it makes them pay afterward. Each time a horned species is attacked, the attacking carnivore player loses 1 population. Alright, so we'll try it out. I know you're looking down here, you're looking at this deck, and you're going, good lord, how many card games is this guy gonna play? I got something that's gonna blow your mind, okay? Every game with a certain level of RNG is just a deck of cards. It's a deck of 6 cards with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on it. Or in Isaac, you know, it's a deck of 250 cards. Each one is an item. A card is just a visual way to represent, you know, variance and randomness and the limited set of what's available. So don't let that turn you off. But you do also play cards. Cards are also a resource in this game. You use them for everything. So what we're using them for right here is to determine how much food is going to be available for me and my 3 enemies, my combatants here. So we all play our food face down. The number in the top left dictates the number of food. You eat 1 food per population, which is this green number right here. So we all have 1 right now. Let's drop... I think we should drop 1 carnivore in there. And I'm not even going to talk about what that card is because we'll see it later. Okay, so then we play cards. And when you play cards, basically there's a few different things you can do with it. I'm not going to do them all on turn 1 because it's going to be bad for strategy. But what you can do with the cards first is give them a trait. So, you know, we have long neck. Before feeding begins, receive 1 free plant food. So this means before anybody gets to eat, I get 1 free food. So if there's limited food in the watering hole, then I get free food. Or I get that food first and it's beneficial. Receive 1 food after every carnivore attack. You know, we could use that as a trait as well. Or horns, when attacking the species, carnivores lose 1 population. The other thing we could do is spend a card to grow our population, which means we eat more food and that means we get more points. Or we could use a card to grow our body size, which means we're harder for predators to eat if anybody here chooses to go predatory. And the final thing we can do is create another species. But we don't really want to do that yet because it's too early. I think, at least. I don't know, maybe we actually do want to try it, so check this out. Let's create a new species. And I'll do it with horns here. And then we'll give this species long neck. Because I go first, I get to choose food. Or I get to choose to eat first, I should say. And then I'm just going to store scavenger for now. And we'll see how it goes. If you're not figuring it out just yet, that's okay. You'll get there. You'll understand. It's actually not that complicated, to be honest. So a lot of units have done the same thing I have. We got a long neck. We got a horn forager. Foragers take more food. And I get to eat. There's only 4 food in here, so let me walk you through how this is going to work. I go first because I have the first player dinosaur chicken nugget. Our left unit already ate one because they have long neck. Passively, they get 1 food without anybody having a chance to circumvent them. This guy also has long neck, so he ate. So I'm going to eat 1. Glunk. He's going to eat 1. Glunk. He's going to eat 1. Glunk. He's going to eat 1. Glunk. And then there's not going to be any more food left to go around. So any unit that doesn't get to eat is going to starve and lose 1 population. Which means that a couple of these units are going to go extinct right here. So we'll eat, because we go first for this turn. He eats. He eats. He eats. There's no more food. So all the species that didn't get to eat lose 1 population. Or they lose the amount of population minus the amount of food they got, which in this case is 1 minus 0, so they lose 1 population. Alright, now let's get a little bit more complicated. So you can see there's a little bit of like a betting phase almost. Like if I really wanted to be mean, which I probably wouldn't want to do because I pick last here, is I could put like -3 food. And then maybe, you know, somebody puts 1, somebody puts 2, somebody puts 0. There's 0 food here. All herbivores will starve. Not really a wise call for us, right? Because I go last, I'm gonna put 4 food out there to hope that there's 1 around for this guy. Then they start playing their cards, and we can make a little bit of a guess as to what they're doing, right? Okay, so he made 2 species. I don't know, maybe in the end, you only play the cards you get, and the cards you get 3 per turn, I think, plus then the number of species that you have actively on the board. So we had 1 card in our hand, 3 plus 1 bonus species, because you should have 1 species on the board by default. Plus 1 for our bonus species, I should say. So, let's see. You grew in population and you created another species with a big population. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you into a carnivore. Carnivores eat, they don't eat out of the watering hole. They eat other species. And they can eat other carnivores, I should say. They can eat other herbivores, but they have to be larger in body size. So because everything is body size of 1 right here, sometimes, by the way, if there's no other food, you could be forced to eat your own species, but because they have to eat. But what we're going to do is give you... I'm going to use a horns to give you 1 population, so you can eat 2 food. And then I'm going to give you scavenger, so that every time the carnivore eats, you get 1 food. So you should be able to be fine there. And then I'm going to give you body size. And I'm going to give you another population as well. And I don't know enough about the strategy of the game to explain my methodology there. Except to say, I hope it's going to work out. So nobody else became a carnivore. So there's only 4 food out there. 2 people put, they put -1s, the jerks. That's the other reason I wanted to become a carnivore, by the way, is because I knew that, you know, they were talking about the start of the mission, like when the food's scarce in the watering hole, you don't want to, you don't want to pick last. So obviously, yeah. You know, I want to make sure I have carnivores because they don't eat out of the watering hole. That being said, let me run you through 2 different lines of play here. You might be like, hey, use your carnivore and then eat somebody else. But if I do that, then this guy, he's going to get to eat the last food in the watering hole. So my idea is, why don't I eat the last food in the watering hole? And then nobody else has any food to get. So you're going to lose 2 population. You're going to lose 1 population. And then I'm going to eat somebody, and they're going to lose population too. So I think you're the second strongest player right now, up on the north spot. So I'm going to eat your species. I get food. And then I get to eat again. Because he went extinct, he lost... Wait, why did he lose his other species? Maybe I didn't look at his cards that much. Because I'm not full, I get to eat again. You got to eat because of scavenger, you lucky son of a gun. Yeah, we should probably take out the scavengers first, huh? So let's take a bite out of him. Wait, oh, but he had horns, so we lost a population. That was not very smart of me. So there's a lot of moving parts in here, but you know, what it reveals, it's a lot like Mystic Vale, but I think the presentation in this one is a lot easier to understand. It's a surprisingly deep strategy game that evolves the more you play, and I don't even mean that pun intended. Like, it changes in a big way the more you play. Let's get rid of a 1 scavenger. I don't mind there being some food out there. You know, if you see that your opponent's running a bunch of carnivores, or you expect that they're gonna start running a bunch of carnivores, what you want to do is something like, you know, maybe defensive herding. A carnivore must be larger in population to attack this species. Or you might want to just pump cards into body size so you're too large for the predator to eat. The other alternative is, you know, we got a lot of herbivores here with very low body size. We might want to just go carnivore, honestly, and then we will never have a problem having species that we can actually eat here. So I actually think that that's not a bad strategy. Now, long neck, I don't even know if that works for us. It might not do anything, but then we need to toss one in body size. Does scavenger only apply to herbivores? Let's find out. We need to definitely apply 1 to body size. Let's apply 1 to population as well. We could have made another species there too. There's a lot of different lines we could have invested in. All right, so let's see how she goes here. I became a carnivore. And they're still staying herbivores, but getting a little bit stronger. 4 food out there, so I do not get plant food on my carnivore, which makes sense, of course. But let's see, what do we want to do here? Attacking scavengers, I think, is a pretty good idea, so they no longer get an advantage out of that. Oh, but you have horns! I'm very dumb. And then everybody who has scavenger then gets to eat after that, which is fair. Okay, so this guy, he's doing really well, just kind of existing in the same game as some hungry carnivores. Okay, so stop attacking horns. It's a very bad idea. I'm gonna attack you because I can wipe you out, get you off the board. Makes you harder to upgrade in the future. So at the end of your turn, you get points, and the points are equal to your population size that 8, essentially. So that guy at the top, he got 5 points. I only got 3, even though I'm doing all the hard work. All right. So we act second here. At this point, I don't care if there's any food in the watering hole, because I'm not a herbivore, so I don't have any herbivores, I should say. Yo, so this guy, he's growing to a body size of 5. That means in order to eat him, we also have to be at a body size of 6, which is the maximum amount. I mean, it seems sensible to me, I should say, to maybe not get to 6. But let's think about it. Like, the maximum size that this guy could get to is 3-3. So I think we'll get both of ours to 4. Oh! Undo, please. Maybe we'll put you at 2-3, and then try not to attack a unit with horns this time, like we did last time. So this one's proving to be a little bit more of a puzzler. You know, you can see the game ends when you run out of cards. We don't have that many cards left, so I really think I'm going to be in second place right now. Alright, so you go first. What's in there? -1. Alright, well, nobody can eat except me. So just be smart about it. Don't attack a unit that has horns. What do you have? Defensive herding. A carnivore must be larger in population. Well, I'm not. So I will attack you, because you have scavenger. Let's get a scavenger off the field. And then you do have horns. I don't want to attack you, so I'll attack you again. You lose 1 more population. All the other scavengers get to eat again. But we inhibited your growth. You starved to death. You got to eat anyway because of the scavenging. So it's cool. Right now, I wouldn't say it's rock, paper, scissors, but there's like 3 different niches, you know? There's herbivores that eat from the watering hole. There's carnivores that eat herbivores. And then there's herbivores that basically get food whenever a carnivore gets food. You know, they get to eat the trash. They're the raccoons of the world. So what do I want here? I mean, minus food is fine. But I think, you know, if this is our final round, I need to pump population in a big way. So I think, like, Because population basically equals points. They could starve us out here pretty easily. But let's hope that just by having... yeah, this guy's going to be prey for sure. Although he does have a large body size. Alright, let's see. So this guy is uneatable because he's at 6. Without a special perk, we can't get to him. 2 food in the watering hole. I go first. So this is very, very important. I want to minimize your points because I think you're the only real threat. So I'm going to start by eating with the unit that finds it harder to eat. Because the other unit can always go whenever. So you're going to bite here. There's no horns. Scavengers eat. You get to pick some food. Great work. You get to pick some food. No food for you to pick, but you can't pick anyway. Following that, I'm going to do some more eating. And I'm going after this guy because it lowers his population. And the lower his population, the less points he's going to get at the end. So now we're adding up all the traits that we have, which also is points. All the population we have, which is also points. I believe I lost. We tied. Excuse me, what do you mean? What do you mean first, second? Okay, well, does it still count as a win? No, it doesn't. Anyway, we're gonna go play a normal game of Evolution as well. But that's generally the game, and I think it's actually, if you're the kind of person who likes playing digital versions of board game, it's a pretty good adaptation. The game itself is beautiful. From a design standpoint, it's a lot of fun. It's relatively easy to pick up, even though I still make mistakes. It's not super complicated, and it's fairly easy to understand just by watching it. Like, unlike, I should say, Mystic Veil. Let's put just 3 Regulouruses, or whatever the heck we got going on here. And it is a campaign mode, which a lot of board game adaptations don't have. So it's at least like some kind of guided play, if that makes sense. It does have online multiplayer as well. According to Steam reviews, it's a little buggy. I always say when it comes to stuff like this, your mileage may vary, right? Like, you're not going to probably go online and find 1,000 people to play against in a 5-minute queue time. But if you and your friends get it, I can't vouch for the fact that the online multiplayer will work. All I can vouch for is the AI. So let's think about what we got here. +4 body size for defense. Very good at evading predators. Horns, okay? Fat tissue. Can store extra food up to its body size. And pack hunting. Add this species population to its body size to determine its attack size. So I'm thinking right now, I want a thick herbivore. That's hard to attack. It incentivizes attacking other people. We pick second here, so I'm going to throw negative food out there. And a card that's carnivore focused. Okay. So you've grown in population in a big way and also in body size. I'm going to make myself impossible to attack, basically. And then I'm going to use horns for population. And I'm going to use fat. Oh, there might not be that much food out there, though. That's a good point. I'm going to just apply fat tissue. And if we get to eat a bunch, that's fine. I'm worried we're actually going to starve once this turn. Might not have been my finest maneuver. But this guy, I mean, he's hungry. But we get to go second again. So we're looking for at least like 5 food. He's a carnivore. But he can't attack us. There's 8 food. Plenty of food. So he goes first. He's going to eat 1. I'm going to eat 1. He's going to eat somebody. Can't be me because of my trait that gives me bonus body size. Beautiful. So now we got a carnivore. And dude, that's sick. We also got to store 1 food. So we got less problems next time. And there was a surplus of food. So we get to eat the first one that's out there as well. Alright. So what do I want to put in here? Dude, cooperation is pretty good. Every feeding you share 1 food to the right. So I'm trying to think of how I would like to do this. I actually think foraging will work super well on this guy. Yeah, you can leave, Tomo. Because every time we feed, you take 2 instead of 1. And defensive herding is actually pretty good as well, because we got a carnivore here, but they're very low in population size. So I kind of like the idea, actually, of... Let's throw out a warning call. And then I'm trying to think of how we want to build the species. I feel like foraging works really well with fat tissue. Then we would make a unit with cooperation and then defensive herding. I mean, this guy's going to be like impossible to kill. Let's try it. You know, it's all about figuring out how it's going to work, right? So we'll make a unit with cooperation, which is not worth much for us. And then we're going to go to 2 population, so that this guy would have to be 3 population to eat us. And you should eat first, probably. We'll see how much food's out there. Alright, so he's making a... Okay, he can actually eat us. That's bad news. I didn't expect him to invest so heavily into being able to get larger. That's my bad. Long neck. How much food we got out there? +9. Beautiful. What is this perk? This species gains special abilities when you discard cards during feeding. And then you. This species cannot be attacked if your species to the right has a larger body size. I'll level with you. I think that this unit is being attacked right now. Eat up, buddy. Yeah. But then you, I guess, would eat here? No, you starved. Why can't you eat this guy? Discard 1 card to carnivore, negate a defensive trait. No, non-carnivore, find 2 foot. What? Oh, because he has hard shell. I'm a dummy. Okay. So our species died. That was bad and kind of dumb. I'm just thinking about how I might want the synergies to work here. What do I not care about? Symbiosis, for sure. It doesn't synergize with hard shell here. This guy, I mean, the population and body size are too high. I can't make another species. He'll eat it. Well, I guess if I made one with warning call, so it's a 1/1, then hard shell makes it a 1/5. For attacking purposes. What do you have here? Climbing. Must have climbing to attack the species. This would be a 1/5. And the added benefit is not only do we not get attacked, but the other units get attacked instead. So you make a unit with warning call. But next turn, we're going to have to grow in body size, for sure. You get hard shell. You're a 1/5. You can't be attacked. Let's also... I really think we should just be pumping up the population size on our husky turtle, which is having an amazing time of eating. There's 14 food out there. Works for me, brother. So, you will attack. You can't attack me. So you're really doing a good job of taking out the competition. He attacked a unit with horns. Nice to know that even the AI makes mistakes. Auto feed just means the rest of the turns are like automatic. It doesn't matter what order you pick what units eat. Everybody's going to eat enough. And dude, this carnivore sucks now. He's a 1/4. Embarrassing. So let's see what we got out here. What is fertile? Add 1 population if there is food in the watering hole from the previous round. We pick 3rd. You know, the problem is I hate acting before the carnivore because we never know how large this guy's going to get. But I will tell you, I don't think symbiosis is worth very much for us right now. Well, we know almost certainly we shouldn't just be looking for the carnivore. I think we should be looking at, you know, also what's going on with this guy right here. Good answer, good question, I should say. There's usually going to be food left over in the watering hole, so I'm going to give you that. I think I'm also going to give you foraging, and then I'm going to up your population. Is there enough to eat 3? Like if I go like this and like this, can I have 2 3-1s? And with hard shell, they're not going to be attackable. I'm so dumb. I was like, I was confusing population and body size, essentially. So this guy's gonna eat the crap out of my units. I don't like that at all. Here it comes. Don't you do it, dude. Don't you do it. That's my alpha turtle. Back off, mister. On the bright side, he can only eat once more. Maybe he will target somebody else. That's my alpha turtle. Tomo, he's attacking my alpha turtle. After I dunked on him last round and laughed at him. Alright, so we gotta, you know, again, this is kind of like the beauty of the design of the game, is that it's constantly changing, right? Intelligence. Ah, that's right. Burrowing. Cannot be attacked once fully fed. Now that's interesting. We pick second here. I'm actually very content to put -2 food out there. So this guy, I mean, he can attack the crap out of us. I'll tell you what I do like. Burrowing keeps this guy alive. He can't be attacked. But this guy is super attackable. I got no way to get to a high enough size to avoid it either. Like, he already has climbing. This is a problem. It's like an actual huge problem. I can't get large enough to defend against this guy. So the thing is, my man can just keep eating us. All he has to do is grow in population, and he should be able to feed on us like over and over. What do we do about that? Yeah, well, if I knew, that wouldn't be such a problem, right? One thing's for sure. Climbing basically doesn't matter at all. Once it's fully fed, cannot be attacked. What's my hypothesis on this? Good one. My hypothesis on this is very simple. One species will be able to live as a result of this. He'll be able to burrow. I'm not even looking at anybody else. It's just this predator I can't get over. He could store up to 6 extra food. That seems terrible. Alright, it's burrowed. It cannot be hit. Go ahead, eat me. Eat the alpha turtle. See if I care. Our species died. We get 3 extra cards. Eat up, boys. Please stop eating me. I beg you. You know, I feel a little targeted by the AI right now. I would really like you to not eat me 2 more times if possible. Well, you know, it's flattering, if anything, because it means that, you know, if you want to be the best, you gotta beat... If you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best. You want to just eat my other species as well while we're here? You might as well. You can store some more food, right? Meanwhile, Mr. Herbivore over here is just running away with it. Well, this seems bad. Lots of food already out there. I know you're like, dude, get carnivore and eat him. I can't. Literally, I can't get there. What I can do. Is any defense? There is a defensive card, okay. We're gonna put out... There's an offensive card, actually. We're gonna put out long neck. We don't need it. Put a bunch of food out there. See if I care. Okay, we're gonna make the dominant species of carnivore. So, what do you need? We're gonna make a new one. It's gonna start with climbing, so it can attack this guy. And then it's gonna have climbing, I should say. It's gonna be a carnivore. Following that, pack hunting. Add this species' population to its body size to determine its attack size. Following that. Here's what we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have essentially a 7/6 creature. Except we can only eat the 1, which is bad, admittedly. But we can't be attacked by him because we're too tanky. He would need to get to a 7 somehow. So this apex predator is now about to be... He's like a big blue whale, right? And I'm like a little lamprey that's just latching onto the side of him. Alright, so I don't even care what you guys are doing. We'll pump your population up in the future. For now, I don't really care who you attack. I want to make sure this guy's safe. So he's burrowed and can't be targeted. Where are you going, buddy? Look at this. I only get to eat once. But still, that's pretty solid, dude. Why can't he eat anymore? He can't eat these guys? You've got... I actually don't understand. Oh, because of symbiosis? Oh, because of warning call. He doesn't have ambush, which is another card. So he actually can't eat these guys. So this guy's in an incredible place. I, on the other hand, do have ambush now. But it's just a question of who I think's winning. Food in the middle? Well, I'm not going to get rid of ambush. I will get rid of, like, cooperation. Now, I like the idea of this guy having foraging and 1 more population. But he gets to act first, which is very dangerous. Don't eat my... You better eat this guy's new species. That's all I'm saying, okay? You get foraging... and a population. I gave you horns so that you don't attack me, because you're going to lose population if you attack me, okay? And then, ambush negates warning call, but I really just don't like this guy. He targeted me for like the whole game, so I'm going to focus on eating as many of his creatures as I can. What's he got here? Symbiosis. Cannot be attacked if the species to your right has a larger body size. That's no problem. Oh, dude, he switched back to an herbivore. Alright, well, you gotta eat. Okay, get low, buddy. Next turn is last turn, maybe? Okay, now you get to eat. This is a very important question. We only get to eat twice, huh? This guy's got a lot of population, but he's also got horns. So I don't want to lose a point just to knock him down a point. Dude, look at the fat storage he's got. That's crazy. Look at the points! I'm totally screwed. Final turn, I'm sure. Yeah, no cards left anyway. Well, no cards after this turn, I guess. Oh, they're still... Disregard me? I don't know what I'm talking about. I really just want to up this dude's population, I think is what it comes down to at the end of the day. Does it give us a chance? No, I don't believe so. But sadly, I do think it's our best option. So we're going to lose. The only question, I think, is whether we come 3rd or 4th. But hopefully, the feel of the game has given you an idea of how you would feel about the game. I really think Evolution, the digital version has given me an easier in to play the tabletop version, which we own but have never played due to what I perceived as being an overly complex nature, which turns out to not really be the case at all, I think. And I really think this is kind of like digital board games at their best. There's a little... And you haven't seen it on display here. There's some UI issues that pop up from time to time. Menus occluding other menus and stuff like that. It's pretty clear, I think, that this is a port of like a mobile game. A game that previously came out for the the iPad or maybe, cell phones. But it also provides a much easier avenue to experience the game, which itself is very well designed. And I've been having a good time with it. Just sock it to me. Well, I definitely didn't finish. I actually finished second. But Regularis Herbivorous absolutely crushed with his herbivore points. Anyway, that's Evolution, the game. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's available on Steam. I bought this myself. It was $22 Canadian. Let me make sure that that's correct. It was $17.50 Canadian, which means it's $15 US. Mostly positive reviews on Steam. Go give it a look if you like what you see. It's not perfect. It doesn't have the most robust campaign I've ever seen in a digital board game, but the game itself is really neat. I like it a lot, and presentation's pretty well done. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.